Hey everybody, it's time for another Redneck review with me, Robert, the Red Prince. And today we are going to go through another one of the oldies, but another goldie, Iron Man #2 of the Marvel Now line. Now this one, like I said the last time whenever I'd redo these, is not exactly my favorite line of Iron Man. My favorite being the Matt Fraction line, the one that I just recently finished up about a year ago. And this one just, I don't like the color scheme, but this particular story for part two, has been really awesome, and I'm going to give it a great review. It's done by Gillian Land. These are the two guys, Gillian Land, the guys who did the Uncanny X-Men for a while. The book itself is $3.99. Can't really see that; it's kind of pixelated. But anyway, let's jump in. Anyway, what happened last time was Iron Man, Tony Stark, discovered that his invention, the extremist invention that was developed by him and Maya Hansen, has been stolen. Its processors and stuff like that are still out there. He is no longer the only one who has control of that technology. He found out that AIM was selling it, and you know, it's never good when these guys have anything. So we start off in Russia years ago, where we're sort of in a plant being developed by AIM here. They're in mechanical suits, and they come in here and they talk to this one person running the suit. Careful, Grigori. Be careful. It was made for something. She goes, I was made for something great. She's telling it, the person staying in her head. I was made to win. You idiot. And the thing that haunts me even now, I never even had a chance to lose. Take your time, she says. The suits aren't made for speed. They're barely made to do anything. Alex Draguno. I'm working. If you call it that, certainly not the work you were born to do. And you see this person, we don't know exactly who this person is in there, but the person in there is just telling themselves, you know, I've been in this situation before. You know, I work as a janitor and a host at Famous Anthony's here in Roanoke, Virginia, and I feel that sometimes. I feel like, you know, I want to do something greater, and I wish someone would come in and just tell me this. But you know, you were valedictorian of the Black Academy final class. You had the highest ever ratings for an exoskeleton pilot. You invented techniques I've seen others break their arms trying to duplicate. There was talk that what the Winter Soldier and the Black Widow did for espionage, you did for piloting suits. And now the career equivalent of driving a forklift. Something tells me you'd leap at the chance to. We were an elite school founded to fight American super soldiers. I'm not interested in building a thug for hire. Come work for me. This guy, it's a AIM operative. You can tell by the suit or whatnot. Well, anyway, we go on. The story changes from there, and we find out that she's being recruited into something called the Round Table, which is basically a suit of armor club for hire that this guy's running. He's trying to create the next wave of piloted suits by someone other than Tony Stark. That's going to go over real well, Tony. I'm someone who's read him for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of issues. Story changes back to New York, where we see Tony being Tony. He's on his building with a pool with lots of girls around, in the typical sort of Iron Man scene. And he says, sunglasses at night, Tony? Very 80s. Pepper comes in there and says, hello, CEO Pepper Potts. Tony, he goes, Jarvis seems off, she says. It's not Jarvis. I'm building a new AI working from scratch. First principles, it's functional, but not exactly Miss Congeniality. Pause, you know, it's a computer that's going a little crazy. You're going after extremists with a half-baked AI? Holding for Laura. Tony, why don't you just hand the job over to S.H.I.E.L.D.? Oh, I have, but there are legal complications. By the time it's shaken down, I'd risk the tech falling into even crazier hands. So Tony's trying to work with S.H.I.E.L.D. at this point, but he he doesn't know. He doesn't think they can get it done with legally or fiscally. So he tells her, so what's the story? Story bribes? No, the circle has impressed them. Sinecuriums don't impress easy. In my experience, so someone who registers on their comment scale is always welcome to stay. After all, the border Latveria, when you have Dr. Doom as a neighbor, I can see the attraction of having a little independent deterrent in your garden. So basically, this country that he's working for is on the edge of Latveria, the country controlled by Dr. Doom, and one of Tony Stark's most crazy enemies. He's basically the craziest enemy of the entire Marvel Universe. He's just relentless. He's a sorcerer and stuff like that. Yeah, he goes, Tony, don't even joke. So, what are you going to do? What I have to. We can't allow extremist tech to be in anyone's hands. Maya would come back to life to kill me. I'll sneak in and... What's that? It's this holographic letter, Tony Stark saying, Tony Stark, the Circle invites you to New Avalon, Samacaria, for a wager for certain technologies. Details to follow via more traditional methods. I'd frown at the grandiosity if I didn't think it was kind of neat. So, yeah, these guys are going a little over the top and everything like that, but Tony likes it. It's kind of Tony's style. So he goes to New Avalon, which is this island in the middle, and this large storage bin is following him. So Tony is taking his entire, blab with him. He tells him it's the Grail Knight. Who is destined to retrieve the Grail? This guy meets him. He goes, I am, he was the guy that was in that thing, Dracoth. And he tells him that, he says, we're going to go and compete in a little jousting match. This guy has a, I guess, fetish for armored suits and a, Arthurian legend complex. So he tells Tony, you're going to fight my Knights, the Circle. And they're all being controlled by this one lady in the middle. Her name is, her code name in this is Merlin, but she's controlling all the suits and keeping him from, just finding the extremists. He tells Tony, look, if you will win, we'll hand over the extremist tech that we had from you. What we're interested in is the next line of suits, the next line of piloted suits in better hands. He sees we're not interested in all your fancy tech. We believe that the pilot can make the difference, not the man. So Tony goes off to basically see if to get in this thing. He's trying to remember how to handle this stuff. He doesn't know if he wants to do it. But eventually Tony comes to the decision. Okay, I'll do this. He goes, we'll see. No one is better at making these suits than I am. So he tells him, so your stakes are on the table. Who's first? And this entire line of piloted suits around here, and they all have different names. Galahad, Lancelot. Gawain's, your tour guide today to a little holiday destination he likes to call Extreme Pain. Nice armor, Meredith. You've come a long way. And he knows all these people. Like, he literally helped make some of this armor they're using for it. Because the extremists could have made us monsters, superhumans, killing machines. Merlin programmed it to make us pilots, flexible pilots. So Tony brings they go in this jousting match, and Tony is just ripping the floor with these guys. At first they start off pretty keen, but I mean, this is Tony Stark. He made the first one, so it's kind of hard to put him down to the ground. He goes, I told you so. He goes, well done, Stark. The first victory is yours. Oh, I know. Oh, and thanks for bringing the prize to the bout. See the Grail? And he tells them, I know what that's in that. They see this thing on the side. I know what's in there. He goes, I've already scanned it. It's the extremists. So he blasts it, and it's protected by a shield. So he tells them, Worth a try, nice repulsor shield mirror. Trying to sidestep the competition, Tony? I'm disappointed. Of course you are. You're an idiot. Life is disappointing for idiots. Even if I'm playing your game, this isn't a game. And he just takes these guys out one by one until we get all the way to Drakov, the final one that is basically the person I believe we found in the armored suit. And she tells him, you know, hey, sometimes someone is you. I've trained the circle well, you understand. I did my job, but certainly haven't taught them everything they're not really ready for. So this guy is actually almost a match for Tony. He takes them in one by one, and battle by battle. So Tony figures this is just a stalemate, So he reconfigures one of his weapons, and as he's fighting this guy, and he shoots the Grail. Remember, Tony's not after the Extremis for itself. He's after just for the sake of not letting this weapon fall in the hands of anyone who would misuse it. So that's a great part to this story. I mean, I like that Tony's getting back to de-arming the world. He's trying to make this world a better place, and he's doing it by trying to take out all the stuff that he helped create wrong with it. He goes, the force field was a cute design, good with kinetics, but make it light, penetrable. It opens to all kinds of lasers, especially a high intensity X-ray. Should have widened the range of protection rather than going so far into the other engineered anti-hacking build. No, not again, she says, because she's been ruined by him before. But the wager, you sign contracts, he says. It says, see me in court, an American court, and I'll work out some way to have you charged as an accessory to Maya Hansen's death. After all, it was stolen property. So Iron Man's not even going to make any excuses. He says, look, I took something dangerous out of your hands, and I don't care how it looks. That doesn't belong to you. It's not going to belong to anyone else. He goes, we won't be able to have more knights. No, not with the full suit, but maybe men-at-arms, smaller tech, less demanding on the pilot. No need for extremist enhancements. Stop designing, Merlin. This is disastrous. We lost. Maybe we did, but I didn't. And it was all the time a woman. I don't really know who this one is. It might have been an issue that I haven't seen in a while. I know, Robert, you're a big Iron Man fan. I can't believe you don't know who that is. If anyone does know, I would love for you to throw me a line and maybe refresh my memory. All in all, guys, this was a great story. I liked it. It was short and sweet. It didn't rely too terribly much on the previous story arc. The only thing you had to know, and they did a little refresher on the first page. And I gotta say, it was a good story. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it wasn't, a middle comic. So I liked it. I'm going to give this one, for Iron Man, at least for the Marvel Now line, a 5 on the story, a 4.5 on the art, because it had a few more advertisements. But all in all, pretty good comic. A 5 and a 4.5 on the art. That's your Redneck review for Iron Man. I would highly recommend that you pick this line up. It's one of the better things in the Marvel Now right now. But if you can avoid, I wouldn't say this book is worth $3.99, but it's if you're a collector, you'll find a way to go through it. All right, guys, that's your Redneck review from Robert. Talk to you later. God bless you.